Hello, David4040 here with another ship's roster review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dralkyr's ships. So first let's take a little look at his fleet arena here. He appears to be using Home 1 with TIE Advance and Wigs and Biggs's X-Wings. And it looks like it's getting him an average rank of 150, which is decent. And with some quick work, he could probably make it easily in the top 100, if not the top 50. So let's take a look at your ships here, Dralkyr. So first thing I'd love to go do is let's take a look at your capital ships. So the best capital ship in the game at the moment for the meta is Hum 1, but overall I think it's still going to be the Chimera. Chimera is just a good ship. It actually counters the Hum 1 to some extent. The healing on it helps a little bit. I switched over to it when the Hum 1 new Millennium Falcon meta started dominating, so it has some use still, and it's excellent in all the other modes of the game. Apart from light side territory battles, only place you won't get any use out of Chimera. On top of that, the only negative for you of using Chimera compared to the Hum 1 is that you don't have it 7-star. But other than that, you have the character Gear 12. You just gotta work on maxing out these abilities here. And it looks like you're working a little bit on these ability levels on Thrawn and the mods and stuff. But this is probably apart, again, from the 7th star on the ship, your best capital ship. And what you're going to want to work on maxing out on the ship, so you'll want to max out Fierce Loyalty first, followed by Art of War and Phylon Beam. Strategic Dominance should be second to last, with Calculated Strike being last, because you use the basic on the capital ships ever since Ships 2.0 the least. On the rare occasion you'll want to use it. But max out that Fierce Loyalty. This gives a buff to all your ships on your team, especially Empire ships, which makes it extremely useful. And the two other special abilities on it are also decent to have. And the ultimate ability should be second last and basic last for maxing out. Now, let's take a look at what you should probably be using. Let's take a look at how to get your 7 stars on your Chimera. What you need is a 7-star Hum 1 and 5 7-star Rebel ships, which it looks like you have. You have 7-star Ghost and Phantom, which you have to have for the event, and you have both Biggs and Wedge 7-star, and you have Cassian's U-Wing 7-star. So you should be able to unlock 7-star Chimera next time the event comes around. I'm guessing you just didn't have the stars. If you're worried about not being able to finish the event, the two things I can say you could probably do here is work on Sabine some, because she seems to be really low gear, and that's not helping out your Phantom at all. And gear up your Biggs, because he's still one of the few tanks and ships, so he has a lot of use. So let's take a look at what you should be using as your fleet team. So you can choose between Hum 1 and Chimera. I'm guessing you get less reinforcements with Chimera, which is probably why you're going with Hum 1 right now. However, Chimera still might be better because you generally don't get to that 4th reinforcement, though sometimes you do. You can evaluate it as you want. But Chimera may be the better ship for you currently. For the team I'm going to suggest, the Chimera is the better ship. So what should you be using? Well, two ships you should 100% be using on your starting lineup is going to be TIE Advanced and Biggs Darklighter's X-Wing, which you're currently using. What you'll want to do here is just focus down on gear, especially at least get your ship's characters to gear 11. My rule of thumb is generally reinforcement ships characters gear 11 and front 3 gear 12. Follow this as you want. Generally, all these characters, though, are going to be useful in other parts of the game, so it really doesn't hurt to at least have them up to gear 11. I mean, Biggs himself is still a decent character overall in this game. It has lots of uses and things from, like, territory wars and and territory battles and such. So having him higher gear can help there. But this will also increase the ship's speed, increase the ship's health, which for a tank like Biggs is really important. So if you can get him at least to gear 11, that would help you out. Now there's two options for your third ship in your starting lineup. You can go between the Ghost and the Imperial TIE Fighter. However, I think the Ghost is really going to be the better pick for you. The Phoenix crew has a lot wider use in the whole game compared to uh, Imperial TIE Pilot. I mean, both pilots have use. Both the Phoenix crew and the Imperial TIE Fighter have use in the game. But overall, the Ghost characters just do a lot more for you. They are required for specific nodes. They're often in territory battles. They're required for often guilds require it for territory wars. They make good teams in Galactic and Grand Arena. So I would go after the Ghost here, which means you're going to need to gear up these characters if you're going to use it on your starting lineup. You have to do that if you want to go after the Imperial TIE Fighter, which you can do as well since it's less characters and that probably makes it an easier gear to go after. However, the Ghost is also current meta and has worked in previous metas and will probably continue to be a great ship in this game and has a much wider use in the game than the Imperial TIE Fighter anyhow. And if you use the Ghost in your starting lineup, what you'll do is hopefully you've geared it up a little bit more and it'll be fast, so you'll be able to stealth your TIE Advance while calling in all three ships to assist and just gets out a decent amount of damage. It makes a real These three ships make a really good starting team and ships, which is why I'm suggesting. And again, Ghost, it's being used in the current Millennium Falcon meta, so you might as well get it because if you want to work on being meta in ships in the future, Ghost is great. Now, let's move on to your reinforcements. And continuing on this thing, Phoenix is great. In my opinion, the best reinforcement in the game that works on almost any fleet is going to be the Phantom 2. So let's just take a quick look at why you want to focus down on the Phantom 2 here. First off, you've maxed out Covert Strike. It's one of the best parts of the ship. It comes in and it reduces the reinforcement ability cooldown so you can call in another ship next turn. Excellent that you already have that maxed out. But you also need to work on gearing up Ezra so you can max out maximum impact. This is a move that comes in, can deal upwards to 100,000 damage if this team is well geared. Which mentioning that, I mentioned earlier, you need to gear Sabine. Look here, you have a level 2 gear 1 Sabine it looks like, and only 5 stars. You need to get her up to 7 stars, gear her up some so that this ship can actually do some work for you. By putting more work into her, you'll be increasing the ship's damage, increasing the ship's speed, health. You can't just in ships, you can't just let one pilot go and ignore them. You have to max out the mods to level 15. So like never mind. You have to max out the mods to level 15, make them 5 dot in order for them to be useful. So Phantom 2 makes a great first reinforcement for you to focus on. Now, what are some other good reinforcements for you to focus on? Well, you already got Slave 1 up, and you already have it maxed out. This is going to be a good taunter to come in. Currently don't have any other great taunters to be using at the moment as reinforcements. So this will be really good for you to have access to. If you're having trouble with Houndstooth at all, Wedge's X-Wing is going to be a good option for you. It has a way of putting it has a way to put buff immunity when it's called in as a reinforcement. So go with that. Plus you already have put some work into Wedge, so it's good for you at the moment. Not long term, I think, super viable, but for the moment in the game, it will have some viability for you. For your fourth reinforcement, when you get there, if you don't currently have it unlocked, there's multiple options here. You can go after Cassian Jew-Wing. It's a really good dispeller Tyreeper also has some dispel ability, can be super useful, and you have the characters more well geared. You just have to level up the ship to 85, and I would say max out its reinforcement ability because that has some turn meter advantages there, and max out the abilities on it. But either one of those ships will make a good reinforcement. And there, if you want to gear up something like Sunfac or Houndstooth, work on Houndstooth, those would all make good reinforcements for you currently in the game. And I can suggest there's lots of good reinforcements in the game. So if you have any questions more in the future, but I really think for what I've suggested so far, that's the best for you. And just work on those characters slowly to get them up, if that's your plan. Now, now that we've kind of gone over what you should currently be working on, we need to go over stuff you need to be doing for the future of yourself and ships. So, there's going to be two paths here. One is we can take you down the Millennium Falcon path, or two, we can take you down the Geonosians path. The Geonosians path, they are one of the current main counters to the Millennium Falcon in the game. They're great ships. They have wonderful synergy together. The only problem is the base characters currently aren't any good in other parts of the game. Sunfact has a little bit of use as a tank. That's about it. Either way, I suggest getting up Sunfact. There's only 3 good tanks and ships anyhow. So having access to Sunfact really does not hurt. And I would suggest 7-starring. So no matter which path you decide to go, I suggest gearing up Sunfact. And in the long-term ships, you want to get the Geonosians up. However, Millennium Falcon is the current meta in ships, which means if you're to the point where you feel comfortable about it, you really should be farming these bounty hunter ships. Xanadu Blood, IG 2000, you already have the Slave 1 up, and the Houndstooth. Houndstooth, still current meta in the game, best tank and fleet, so you gotta get it anyhow. And Xanadu Blood and IG 2000 are both decent ships, and getting up the bounty hunters would help you in your quest to get Chewbacca anyhow. So it's kind of doubles over, and it makes a really good defensive team in other areas of the game. It is also really good for territory battles. So it doesn't hurt to be gearing up and working on these guys anyhow. So you can choose between Geos and bounty hunters in the long term. Either way, you want to work on both of these teams because they're both excellent. But in the short term, what you need to be focused on is making sure you're ready to get that 7-star on Chimera and working on your TIE Advance, your Ghost, your Bigs, because that'll be your starting lineup. And 100% be working on your Sabine. And just as your reinforcements, Phantom 2, Cassian's U-Wing, Wedge's X-Wing, TIE Reaper are all decent choices for you at the moment, and Slave 1. So you kind of choose between those. With reinforcements, kind of what you see needs to be working for you, and what kind of provides the best benefits at the moment based on your power and whatnot. If you have any more questions about ships Dralkyr, reach out to me. I'll be willing to make another video or something helping you or talking with you about it in Discord. But see you later. If you have any questions, reach out. Bye.